What am I doing here?
Right.
What are we gonna do?
What am I doing here?
Why are we gonna be on live? What's going on? Why is it gotta be like that? Let's turn it just a little bit more right there. Okay. All right, you guys. Another Thursday coming your way. Brandon Orr, Reclaiming Lives Recovery Cafe. I've got a major. He's a friend of mine, and when he speaks, you know, people listen for a reason. He's got a lot of knowledge under his belt, and he's been doing this for like 17 days now. He does have 17 years clean.
No, I don't.
Oh, he's going to on the 17th of next month. But no fronts. And he's
no fronts.
He's. I hope that you guys get something out of this, because every time he speaks, I get something out of it, and I take it home and I get to utilize it in my everyday life. So, without further ado, James Stewart, how you doing, my man?
Nervous?
Yeah, you are.
I'm always nervous.
It's funny when people come on the show, on this little live show that we do here at the cafe. They always seem to be a little nervous, but it shakes off pretty quick.
I've spoke up and down the West Coast with recovery, and every time I speak, I'm nervous.
Yeah, I've got to hear it. So you know, and I remember
an old timer told me that if I quit getting nervous, I need to stop doing it because it's all about my ego.
Right.
I'm good.
I remember when we went to a camp out. When you were the speaker one night, and
like Scotty was there.
Yeah, Scotty White was there. I remember like I've seen you in many elements, but I hadn't seen you in that like element, and you like dug out and you went and used the phone, did a little prayer, and you hopped right back, and man, you nailed that out of the park. It was really good.
Thank you.
But the reason I asked you on today, not only are you my friend, but I was really excited to do this, and I told you we'd do it at the end of the month, is because not only do you live the program, but you live by the program. And the things that you tell people is because it's what you do. It's not just suggestions, it's what you live in your life, like daily.
And I wouldn't have anybody do anything I wouldn't do.
Right.
To me, that's like the blind leading the blind.
Right. You know, and we don't get far that way, do we?
No, I run into walls.
So tell us a little bit about your story, just a little bit, so we can get the audience to know a little bit about James Stewart.
My clean date's August 17th of 2003. Haven't felt necessary to get loaded since then. I can tell you that I haven't had a bad day since I got clean. And everybody's like, what do you mean you haven't had a bad day? I haven't had a bad day since I got clean. I've had some difficult days, some emotional days, some trying days, some hard days, but not one has ever been bad.
Right.
I mean, I know what a bad day is. And a bad day is when I'm sitting in Josephine County Jail and I'm looking at 90 months in the state penitentiary, and the only one that's going to accept a collect phone call is my mom. And she lives in San Diego, California. You know, outside of San Diego, and she's the only one going to accept a collect phone call because all the homeboys are gone, the girls are gone, they're all gone, and like any self-respecting drug addict, I call mommy.
Right.
And yeah, that was a painful time because my mom dropped everything in her life to hop a plane from San Diego, California to Jackson. Grants Pass, and within 72 hours she was there looking at me through a plate glass window. And I remember that conversation like it was yesterday. I'd shaved my head and was gearing up to be who I needed to be, to get in the car I needed to get into, because I grew up in San Diego, California, and there's a car that you get into when you go to jail. You know, it's just the way it is. And I had that same mentality, and I'd shaved my head and was gearing up to go into the car, and my mom picks up the phone and she looks at me and she says, between you and your little brother, you guys are killing me. And she looked me square in the eyes and she said, I love you so much, but I am so disappointed in you. Now, when mom talks like that, I tend to live in a spot that I don't let many people see.
Right.
You know, talk about holding your mud when you're in jail, and I couldn't hold my mud.
No.
Yeah, mom got me.
Yeah.
Mom hit me square in the chest.
Right every
Right
time.
in the chest, took my wind. You know, there was a lot of violence and a lot of crime in what I did when I was getting loaded, and a lot of people got hurt. You know, I would get out on I call it, and it's kind of humorous, I get out on vacation and go back on a violation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get out, you go back, you get out, you go back, you get out, you go back, because no contact didn't apply to me. It's my house, it's all about me. I'm self-centered, I'm self-seeking, and I'm self-destructive. That's just who I am when I'm getting loaded. Towards the end of my active addiction, DHS got involved in our lives. And they rescued our kids from me because I wasn't fit to be a dad. Anytime I hear somebody say, they took my kids from me, no, they didn't take them from me, they rescued them from me, because the minute I say somebody took something from me, it makes me the victim, and I quit being the victim a long time ago and became the victimizer.
Good job.
So my kids were never taken from me, they were rescued, and at 3 years clean, they were placed back into my care with sole legal physical custody of all of them.
All of them.
All of them.
How many you got?
Got 5 between my wife and I.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's a squad.
24, let me see if I can do this. 24, 22 yesterday, 21, 20, and 16, almost 17. Yeah, 5. Starting lineup for basketball team.
Yeah, ready to go. And your
Yeah.
center will be the youngest and a point guard.
My youngest will be the 6-foot center.
Yeah, she, no joke too. She gets busy.
Yeah. But
Watching highlights.
towards the end of my active addiction, I was locked up in Josephine County Jail again, and on July 18th of 2003, a deputy came to the cell block and handed me a picture of my newborn daughter. And
Was it Holly?
it was Holly, yeah. And I ran around the cell block, pretending to be something I hadn't been in a long time, talking out the side of my neck about what a good dad I am, and Millie Mac and that. But inside I felt hopeless, helpless, and worthless. You know, when I feel hopeless, helpless, and worthless for any length of time, like anybody else, we're dangerous. Super dangerous, because I'm unpredictable.
Yeah.
And it's ironic that that daughter has 30 days longer clean than I do.
I love it when you say that.
Her birthday's, July 18th of 2003, and my clean date's August 17th of 2003, and she'll tell me I got more clean time than you.
Yeah. Yeah. Rep that.
Yeah, she's a great kid. All of my kids are doing really, really well. Super happy. Got a beautiful wife.
Yeah, you do.
Beautiful life. Blessed. We just celebrated, in recovery, we just celebrated 16 years together and 12 of it married.
Yeah, you did.
Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thought James
Who'd have
Stewart?
thought somebody put up with me that long?
Love you, Lori. When you watch this.
She's
love
a
you.
saint.
She is now.
She's been an awesome mom. An awesome mom to our kids. God couldn't have placed a better person in our lives. No
Right.
way. No way. She got with me when I had absolutely nothing. And we've been able to build a really good life together.
How'd you guys meet?
12-step meeting.
Oh.
We really don't want to know that. Because she might kill us. I got to see a part of her at a meeting.
And you latched on.
And I asked her out on a date, and she stood me up.
What?
Yeah.
She stood you
She stood me up. Then I asked her again, and ironically, our first date was June 28th of 2004, and that's our wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Is June 28th.
So you met her, first date June 28th, and then you guys got married.
4 years later, we got married on the same day.
Whose idea was that?
I just showed up, bro.
I just showed I love it. So what like when you first, how do I say this correctly? When you first got clean.
So when I first got clean, I was released from Josephine County Jail on August 8th of 2003. 194 pounds, looking good, feeling healthy.
Looking great.
Feeling really good, but I showed up to a treatment center geared to dads and their kids locally here at 155 pounds in a week. Ran it in. Got busy.
In a week.
Yeah. Quick way to lose some weight.
40 pounds gone.
Quick. Just quick way to lose some weight. Just do drugs.
That's right.
Do drugs and don't eat.
Yeah. Simple.
Like I go to this treatment center geared to dads and their kids, and it's a state bed, so I'm on the state dime, and they're just trying to get one of my kids to be there so that I could stay there. And I hadn't seen my kids in 6 months and never met my newborn daughter. And I have some domestic violence in my life, and there's a bunch of stuff that goes along with that my kids had witnessed. And my biggest fear is that my kids had forgotten who I was. My counselor at 28 Days Clean said, check this out, James, we got your son to come and we got your older daughter. So I got to see
Wow.
my biggest self-centered fear was that my kids had forgotten who I was.
Right.
And
Now, do you mean literally who you were? Okay.
literally, they hadn't seen me in 6 months.
Mm.
And how could they forget who I was with what they'd witnessed in their life?
Right, right.
You know, we talk about fear, and where I come from, fear means respect.
Right.
Fear doesn't mean respect, especially when it's your kids.
Right. That's not the kind of... Yeah.
The people that feared me the most are the ones that loved me the most. You know, I can remember we used to do this. Imagine 10 guys in strollers walking down the street in Medford. Just walking down the street, pushing strollers. And I can remember going to the park and coming home, and at the time she was blonde hair, blue eyes, and about 4 years old. And I got like 60 days clean, and she looked up at me and she says, Dad, I'm not afraid of you anymore.
Whoa.
Yeah, I still remember that like it was yesterday. 'Cause I don't ever want to forget that. I don't ever want to forget how I felt when that came out of her mouth.
That very moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's deep.
Now later on in life, when she started dating boys, it's okay that her boyfriends are afraid of me. I kind of like that.
They should be. Sorry.
You know?
I just know.
It's okay.
Right.
You know, but like at 90, these are some pivotal moments early in my recovery. It's like my son was the only one old enough to go to school, so we got to take him to the school bus, and got my daughter on my shoulders, and my son go to the school bus, and this guy decides he's gonna beat his wife and his kid in front of me and my kids. And if I do nothing, I co-sign the behavior. If I do something, I'm looking at a mandatory minimum prison sentence. But if I do the right thing, I mean, for once in my life,
Right.
if I do the right thing, I'm a rat and I'm a punk and I'm a snitch. It's not like my street credit ever did anything for me but put me in jail.
Right.
That's all it ever did. So it never bought the house, it never got the girlfriend, it never got the kids. It kept me separated from everybody that loved me. So what ends up happening is my son gets on the bus, he turns around and looks me square in the eyes and he says, Dad, that guy acts the way you used to. Ooh.
That guy acts the way you used to.
Woo! Boom. Light went on. Yeah, I was going to see a bunch of stuff that's transpired in their life and see how it affected them. And I was going to do the right thing for the right reasons for the first time in a long time, and I wasn't going to feel okay about it.
Right. What'd you do?
I called Medford PD. You know? Yeah.
Accountability.
I called the cops and did what was right, and just because I did what was right doesn't necessarily make me feel all right.
Yeah, it doesn't make you feel good, but you know down deep it was the right thing to do.
The Medford PD rolled into the DADS program, and they yarded me out. And when they yarded me out, my daughter went into hysterics. She started screaming and crying and kicking, and a light went on. Every time the cops came to our house, I left in handcuffs or through a window.
Right.
And she watched it every time. And she was reliving it. Yeah. How do you make an amends to a 4-year-old?
Right.
I just had to tell her, hey, every time they came in and I went with them, Daddy had to go on a timeout.
Right.
She understood that.
That's pretty good. That's
yeah.
She's been in timeouts. She knows.
Yeah.
She knows.
Very few timeouts, but
Right.
she's been in them.
She's been there. Not as many as Dad. But
none of them have been in as many times. Thank God for that.
So, how long did you have clean at this time?
Got like 90 days clean.
Okay.
When I was on the fence and just
Okay.
it was like I was being presented with a fork in the road, and I would just choose. Okay, well I'm going to do this because I would normally not do this. I just wouldn't do this.
Right.
You don't tell.
You don't.
Don't tell, don't talk, don't feel, don't. And that's what I was taught growing up in the game. Yeah, don't talk, don't
Had
tell.
to relearn everything.
Yeah. You know, I still.
Still.
Now my wife says, you tell everybody everything. I'm like, well, That way I don't have to remember it.
If I get it on my chest, I don't got to hold it in.
I don't have to remember it. Especially if I tell you the truth, I don't have to remember it. Imagine all the people we lied to, and all that work we had to deal with.
You know, I tell Stephanie all the time. I'm like, man, you know, the reason I like this job so much is because it's hard for me to make the amends to all the people that I was able to. So this is the best way I know to make amends by helping the next still suffering addict.
100%.
You know, and that's the way. And then if somebody comes to the door I owe amends to, I get to make that amends, which I've got to do a couple times, and it's felt really good. And it's crazy when you think about it. You're like, oh, they're not going to accept this, but they do.
It's amazing on how many opportunities I've had just in my employment.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
You know, to help people. It's crazy. I mean,
just helping in general.
Yeah, just in general. I've been with the same company now 16 years.
They treat you good.
Really good.
Yeah, really good.
Really good, yeah.
Yeah. I know when we have problems. So if you guys can't read way over here, he does work at All Natural Pests. I'm telling you right now, like, I call him. I'm like, look, we got a problem at an Oxford house. Get over here real quick, bro. You know what I mean?
Done.
Yeah, we get over there and they help out. But through your clean time, what's some of your proudest moments?
It would be getting custody of my kids, by far.
Amen.
By far. Because the state of Oregon told me I would never get anything more than supervised visits, and I'd be lucky with my violent history. I'd be lucky if I got that, and I was able to prove them wrong. And that's an ego shot, but I've heard people say that they say I'll never, and they told me that, and don't believe them.
Right. Don't
believe them. I think one of the other proudest moments is the day that I was granted sole legal physical custody of my kids. My mom's watching this. I called my mom. I called my mom, and she works in labor and delivery down in San Diego, California. And I said, check this out, Mom. I got custody of your grandkids, and I'm gonna cuss. Is this a quote from my mom? That's a quote. She's like, you better not be fucking with me. That's from Mom. That's the only one. That's the only one I'll use, okay? And I said, no, I got custody of your grandkids, and she said, I'm so proud of you, and I love you so much, and she and I told her, check this out, man. Whenever you want the kids, you get them, as long as they're not in school, and they're not in sports, and I start feeling this stuff, and I want to cover it up with some humor, but it's funny.
Oh, I got some stuff.
But
we're not done.
But so my kids are little, and they've always gone down to my mom's house with horses and all that stuff, and they were real little. Like Holly was still in diapers just about, and now she's 17, and it's like my mom was taking them when they were little, and when they hit teenage years, I just told my mom, thank you.
Take you.
Thank you.
And she's like, come get them back. No, I'm just joking, Mom.
She don't want to send Holly back right now. She wants to keep her.
Right, yeah. Holly's a hard worker.
Lindsay's working at the hospital. Angelina's back in school, doing her beauty college.
That's so good.
Yeah, Jeremiah's doing well. Richie's a real estate agent. Yeah, it's all good.
Richie just hooked you up with a house, right?
Yeah, he sold one and bought one. Yeah, we
sold
one.
Good job, boy.
We sold one through him and bought one. Why not keep it in the family?
Right? Keep the family.
It's funny. He comes in and he's like, I'm like, check this out, bro. You already got it. It's yours. It's yours.
Yeah.
You're our son. You got it. Just run with it.
Just get it done.
Go get it.
Yeah. Oh, so many good things in that. I want to talk a little bit about something. You have a major one of these. It's character defects.
Oh, yeah, fear.
Well, no, yours is that you're a Charger fan.
No, that's not it. Yours is that you're a Raider fan.
I'm a Steeler fan.
That's oh, remember what I did to your Oxford house?
Yeah.
You got in trouble?
We had these flags hanging up at the Oxford house I was living at, and we were getting ready to go to a camp out, and James comes over extra early one morning to come pick me and I think just me up, and then puts the Charger flag all the way to the top and puts the Raider flag upside down and at the bottom. It was so funny. They were so mad. Like, we got halfway to Sisters and I'm getting phone calls. What the? I'm like, what, dude? And James is like, you didn't see it, did you? I'm like, what'd you do? He's like, I turned all your flags upside down. And he showed me a picture on his phone. I'm like, oh. Yeah, that was good.
Got to see some character defects there.
Right. Explain a little bit about what character defects mean to you.
I was taught that a character defect is, a lot of my character defects at one time were character assets. So the drive I had to be a drug addict and to be a criminal and all that stuff, that drive. If I take that drive and I move it over here and point it in a good direction, that's no longer a defect, it's an asset.
Can you explain that a little bit better?
Well, like that same drive that I had to do all the wrong stuff, I take that same drive and I just point it in a good direction, and it's to succeed in life.
Oh, wow.
So it's the exact same drive, just pointed in a positive direction. Okay. And my biggest character defect is fear. Right. It's self-centered fear.
So how do you utilize that in positive?
I talk about it. I talk about my fears.
You don't give it strength.
One of the things that I've realized is that everything I've ever wanted is on the other side of my fear. Everything I've ever wanted.
It's like a wall.
But the thing about fear is that we don't get to duck it, dive it, con it, or connive it. We have to walk through it.
Duck it,
dive it, con it, or connive it. I've said that a few times.
I can tell, dude. That came right up. I'm like, damn, that was... I'm going to write that down. I hope you wrote that down over there, Steph. That was really good. Because I'm going to have to look that up.
And like, how do I stay clean? I hang out with people that have more clean time than me.
Right.
Or I help people get clean and stay clean. That's how I succeed in that area. How do I succeed in my professional life? I hang out with people that are successful.
Yes.
You know, I mean, the owner of the company I work for is successful. I listen to him. I respect him.
You hear what he says and implement that.
When he bought the company 6 years ago or 7 years ago, I was leaving. And he said, hey, knocked on my window and he said, hey, James, don't leave because on Monday you work for me. And that's the best decision I made in my life.
Right. Yeah, you've been there quite a long time.
I mean, and he respects recovery.
Right.
And I pray with my boss.
Right. Yeah.
Who gets to do that?
Right. Me.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
Then they respect what I do, and they love me.
Yeah. And you're good at it.
Well,
you got good at it.
Yeah.
You got.
I was taught by the best.
Yeah.
You know.
How do you? So say that you got a guy that you're mentoring, or whatever. Say you got a guy and he's working on his character defects and he can't let up on a couple of them. What suggestions do you make to him, or how do you? Because there's something about James that.
Well, pain's a great motivator.
Fudge, man. Like you have a way of talking. I'm like, I remember when I first started getting clean, you said, "Are you sticking around this time?" Like I heard a lot of people say, "Stick around." You're like, "Oh, are you sticking around?" I'm like, "Yes."
But the thing is, like, since when did the truth have to be candy coated?
No, I get it.
Because where I come from, they told me sit down, shut up, and listen. Take the cotton out of your ears, stick it in your mouth, because I want to know how you're getting loaded. I'll ask you.
Right.
But if you want to know how to stay clean,
listen.
Sit here and listen.
Right.
Watch what we do.
You old timers, man. You old timers.
I mean,
no, that's serious. And it's like.
Since when did it have to? It hurt your feelings? Oh, I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry.
Chances are, as a sponsor or a mentor, I'm going to say something that hurts your feelings.
Right.
But I have to. It was done to me. Sometimes the truth hurts.
I've got to watch you. It's so true. But I've got to watch you sponsor some really solid dudes in the program, and like.
Your sponsor?
Yeah, he's guaranteed one of them. They've all got quite a bit of time.
I don't talk about the guys I sponsor. They get to talk about it.
But I want to just say one thing. I'm not going to talk about them. I just want to talk about it. They all have a significant amount of great that they've done with their life. Now, and I always implement that to like the teacher, the mentor. It's kind of like the kung fu artist learning from the master. And like I've watched that for so long now. Like I ain't gonna freaking lie to you guys. I wasn't gonna ask them. I was freaking intimidated. I didn't want it. So I went one down.
It's funny. People get intimidated by people with time.
No, I get intimidated because you're loud and mean.
I'm not mean.
No, you're not mean. You're not mean.
I can be mean.
Yeah, you can.
I can be. I can be. I can be an asshole. I'll wear that one.
Yeah, but I respect it.
I mean, it's like I asked my sponsor to be my sponsor, and he has like 29 years.
And he's awesome.
He's got 12 years more than me. People get intimidated by people with time. How do you think they get it? One day at a time.
Right.
I came in here sucked up like a Safeway chicken.
Chicken! Buck, buck.
Yeah. Looking like death warmed over. Looking like death warmed over. I mean, I look like I came straight out of a concentration camp when I got here. I look back at my early recovery and I'm like, ooh.
Look good.
No.
Well, the reason I say these things is because it's something that I do look up to in you, that the way that you do help. I wasn't putting it out there that you were rough, rugged, but what you do and what you say has meaning behind it. It's
Sure.
one of the main reasons I wanted you here today.
The reality of it is, I'm just a rough, tough powder puff. That's who I am.
You are.
I mean, I have this
powder puff.
I have a defense mechanism that, you know, once you get in, you're not going to get out.
Right.
That's just how it is. You know, I'm guarded at times.
I love you.
I love you too.
I love you, and I can
Even though you're a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Well, we both have our character defects.
If I spot it, I got it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. If I spot it, I got it. You're right. What are some of your passions today? Like, what does James do for self-care? What is some of your passions?
Well, I ride my Harley.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
That I'll go ahead and throw his name out there. Mark, you did a good job. If you see this, he killed that paint job.
Oh yeah, yeah, he did. Mark did a fantastic job on that paint job.
Mark Juber.
Yep.
It's our dude.
And Gaddick.
Yeah.
And Thunderstruck built it.
Yeah.
Mark Daly and Travis.
What do you like to do with the family?
Now they're all gone. I'm down to one at home. Yeah, seriously.
So what? So
we do family game night every other week at the house, which is cool.
What games you play?
You don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
Adult what you mean?
What you mean? What does that even mean?
Yeah, that one. Cards with Humanity. My daughter. Yeah.
So there's another...
I get to teach my youngest. Well, I probably am not a good teacher at teaching somebody how to drive because I want to take the wheel.
Yeah, my bad. There's something else. When was the last time you were in prison?
Last time I was in prison? The last time I went to prison was Oregon State Penitentiary, and I went and spoke there, for Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah, Christmas. I
How
spoke
about
there.
that?
I can tell you guys that I walk into Oregon State Penitentiary, 150 guys, and at times I feel safer there than I do on our own streets.
Right.
Because I can get in to fit in real quick there.
Right.
You know, but what I want to say about that, the Hole in the Wall group in Oregon State Penitentiary has been going on for over 30 years, and that meeting's not getting smaller. It's only gotten bigger. And we got a family member up there right now doing 22 flat. He's on the tail end of it.
Yes, he is.
And you know, it's talk about a captive audience,
right?
No, for real. I mean, but they not just that, they can't leave, so they're a captive audience. You know?
Captive audience. I see what you did there, kid. I see.
No, but they got nothing but love for us when we rolled in there. They know that we're taking time out of our day, and it's strange because I've done the car and bike show up there, you know, the last 3 years, and last year we put the bike on the ground, so this year it's going to show up with a new paint job.
Yeah,
for the third year.
That's so awesome. That's a blessing of your recovery.
Oh,
you know, you get to go up there and speak into other men that really need that glimmer of hope, and you have a way about the way you speak. I bet you that you do captivate them.
What's pretty cool is that they just listen, you know, because they can hear it from everybody that comes in.
Do you and Lori get to go?
Yeah, Lori goes.
Wow.
Yeah, Lori speaks too. Lori can run it in.
I bet. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She said. Yeah, I mean, like
Lori can speak. She's got a great story. My wife's got a fantastic story.
Yeah, one day when I can get her, I'm gonna get her. So I can't be more privileged to call you my friend, and you know, I want to just say here and now, like, you're one of the main reasons I stayed clean, and the reason that is because if you can do it, I can do it.
Oh hell yeah.
You know, I really admire the family man you are, the way you help people in recovery, and how you're selfless.
So you were asking what was one of my proudest moments.
Yeah, it was.
I got asked to speak in an event in Bakersfield in 2015, and I hadn't seen my little brother in 10 years.
Oh yeah, I was talking about her.
I hadn't seen him in 10 years. And back when I was younger, I introduced him to the lifestyle. You know, he caught me doing some stuff, and he said those famous words, "Give me somewhere I'll tell." Man, I'm all about self-preservation at 16, 17 years old. Here you go, bro. I introduced him to the lifestyle, and it would cost him a large amount of his life.
Large amount.
Yeah. And I hadn't seen him in 10 years. He gets put into a halfway house in San Diego, and I'm speaking at this event in Bakersfield, and I asked my mom, can you get him up here? And we got reunited at that event right before I spoke, and I was speaking on parenting and recovery. You know, there was a time in my life that I was a good example of a bad example, and I got to be a good example of a recovery example. to him. And we just get to plant the seed. We don't get to pick when it bears root. So that was like February of 2015. Well, I get a phone call on August 17th of the same year. And he's talking about, this is my first day clean. And it's my 12-year birthday.
Your birthday.
And my 12-year birthday, his first day clean, he's talking about, I can go back to prison. I can live my
August
lifestyle.
17th.
I can do that. And I'm like, yeah, you can do that or you're going to miss out on everything. And I said, or you can move up to Oregon where we're a little more felony friendly and get your life together. He's been clean ever since. His clean date and my clean date are the exact same day, just 12 years apart.
Yeah.
That's a proud moment.
He's
What's even prouder is that he gets a year clean. I get 13 years clean. We get to fly our mom up here. And she gets to watch him get a year clean and me get 13 years. And she's never had any of her kids in the same house at the same time clean for that long.
Now you get to celebrate it together.
And we talk about doing amends.
Yeah.
Like, I've been doing an amends with my mom ever since I got clean.
What does amends mean to you?
So for me, it's all about removing the guilt and the shame. It's all about the stuff that I did and making it right. And it took 13 years for me to feel okay inside with that relationship.
Yep.
Because usually what happens is, like, I go down on vacation throughout my clean time, and come Thursday, because she knows we're leaving Saturday, there's a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have to feel those feelings. So we just leave, and I flew her up here. And
that was the norm.
then I flew her up here, and we did that 13-year birthday and his 1-year birthday, and she got on the plane to leave, and it was gone. No more guilt, no more shame. Done.
Love.
All cool. Man, I took her through Jacksonville, and I hate shopping.
You do.
I followed her around like a little puppy dog, in and out of every store.
Holding her bags.
In and out of every store. But it was more than that. It was like, if you pay attention to people, and like they're looking at stuff, and I would see the glimmer in her eye, then I'd just go get it.
Right.
You know, it wasn't about the money. It was about, she wanted that. Okay.
It was about that.
That I saw the glimmer.
Smile.
I paid attention.
Which you never did.
Well, because I'm usually just self-centered and caught in blinders. But to pay attention, and yeah, she still has that stuff. She wears it. It's cool.
It's amazing we get to pay attention today, huh?
Yeah, it is. I'm going down there next week.
Well, I hope you have the best time ever, man.
I'm just gonna go have some fun.
Amen.
I'm gonna get out of Medford. We're gonna go fly into a hot zone.
Yeah, right. You are too, dude.
Hopefully, there's some meetings open down there when I go.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you for your time. Do you have any questions or anything?
This is your show, not mine.
But
I'm just along for the ride.
Okay, so I like to do this at the end because everybody always has their own little twist on it.
I have one too.
There's somebody out there right now who doesn't feel the worth. They can't find their ass from a hole in the ground. They don't know where to turn, how to reach out, even the words to say. And you're seeing them right now. What do you say to them?
Welcome. Welcome home. Welcome home. Here's my number. Give me a call.
You want to give me a number? Just joking. No.
541-282-3534.
Dude, this kid, he wants help.
One of the things I end with when I'm speaking, and it's a prayer. And it goes like this. God, I know that I'm not all that I want to be. God, you know that I'm not where I think I should be. And God, I want to thank you for helping me start to become the man that I've always feared to be. And I'm not the man I used to be. Thanks for having me, bro.
I appreciate you here today. You guys, James Stewart, couldn't be more happy with the day today. I was super excited all week when I called him and he said yes. If you guys need any help, anything to reach out, like, share this page. Brandon Orr, Recovery Cafe, 541-890-0590. Love you guys to death.
Peace.
God bless.